So, good morning. Welcome to Slow Glow, or good afternoon, evening, if you're watching this on YouTube. And this class is all about our joint protection, our joint strengthening, relaxation, and stretching our muscles. All of that good maintenance stuff. So wherever we're at in our body, this stuff is so worth doing. Why yoga? It's such a common, it's a classic question. Wherever you're at in the yoga world, why do we do yoga? I think one of the answers that people always come back to is it's investing. It's investing in the future for your body. When we lose our independence of movement, the ability to do stuff for ourselves, our life quality declines so much. So by keeping these as much as we can, keeping the body moving and strong, it's the best investment we can make, because it's talking about a long, happy life. Everyone wants that. So that said, let's find ourselves here in the yoga mat. So the brain wants to think about dinner and work and all of those things, the house, pets, kids. But when we come to sit on the mat, we try to be present, and that's such a buzzword, but this repetition of every time we come and we sit, and it's the beginning of the yoga class, and we let our eyes close and we let our breath get a little slower and a little deeper. We're training this relaxation response so that we start feeling calm as soon as we sit down. So going through those things, finding our seat, finding the weight transferring from the bones of the pelvis, the sitting bones, down into our block or into our mat or into our chair. Finding the eyes gently closing, softly closing, and the breath. Just noticing what it's doing. If the nose isn't blocked, we're breathing through the nose. Of course, if that's not working today, we're breathing through the mouth. Breathing through the nose if we can. And we have this breath in yoga, it's called the achey breath, the victorious breath. It's often described as an oceanic breath. It's the sound of the waves. And it's this little constriction at the back of the throat so the breath becomes audible. It's hard to do over these recordings because I have noise reduction and it will hide the sound of the breath. The best way to imagine getting into this breath is imagine you're huffing up a mirror. So imagine you're holding up a mirror and you go to steam up a mirror. And it's that constriction at the back of the throat that makes a noise. And that is what we do. We do it through the nose. It's not going to work over the mic. Maybe you heard a little bit of it. So we have this little sound in the back of the throat. Our ujjayi breath. And it's just soft. If there was someone sitting next to me, maybe they could hear me. But it doesn't need to be heard miles away. And this sound gives us something to put the attention on, so it helps us to fall into our meditative state. As we watch the breath come in and out of the nostrils, we also listen to the sound and we feel it in the back of the throat. When these little self-generated sensory cues help us keep the mind here, in the present moment, on the mat. So maybe there's a little tightness in the body, a little restriction. Maybe there's something that we need to let go of. So let's all breathe in deeply through the nose, fill the body, open the mouth, and take a nice sigh. Ah. Or it might just be a deep breath out through the mouth. And once more, breathing in. Ah. Over time, these pleasant sighs may come naturally when we just need to cheer ourselves up a little bit. Ah, isn't life lovely? Of course, love. Sometimes it isn't. There's usually a little bit of lovely to be found, a bit of acceptance. So let's come to start waking the body up. I'm just going to take one of these blocks away from myself. So that's feeling like what my back wants. No need to follow suit. Let the fingertips come out to the sides. Maybe they touch the mat. Maybe they're floating in the air. Doesn't matter. Come up as tall and straight through the spine as we can, but don't lift up the chin. Keep the chin drawing back. And just a little bit down so the back of the neck feels long. Inhale, lift the fingertips, a big, big circle up above the head. When we get the hands above the head, we're going to interlace the fingers and turn the palms upwards. So we've got this stretch here. Don't need to overdo it. If we have sensitive wrists, it could be quite soft. And then maybe we inhale and we stretch up a little bit more. Let the shoulders settle. So wrists are reaching up and away, and the shoulders are reaching down the back. And as we exhale, trying to find the hands in a prayer shape, draw it down, and then open the hands like a book. Inhale, soften shoulders. Exhale, backs of hands together, draw the fingers towards the belly button, open the upper back, stretch the upper back. Stretch the upper back. And then inhale, fingers come forward, we sweep the hands through like we're opening two massive doors. Exhale, fingers come back to the earth. Once more. Inhale up, interlace the fingers, and then re-interlace them so the other finger is on top. The strange feeling one. Flip the palms to face the ceiling again. Inhale, stretch, stretchy, stretchy, stretch. Soften those shoulders, and then this time exhale, push the palms out in front of us and extend the shoulders, protract the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades wrap around the body, not dropping the chin, just a gentle lowering of the forehead, lengthening the back of the neck. Inhale the hands out wide, lower them down. Now we'll take a side bend. So coming over to your right. Now, although the hand is here to stop me falling over, I'm not going too deep so I can feel that both of the sitting bones are still even on the mat and the hand isn't doing all the work. The core, I'm lifting up here and the hand's over. Rather than dumping into the hand, using the core. And actually this here, even though I'm folding quite deeply, it doesn't feel too squashed because I'm lifting out of the pelvis with the core. Turn the gaze up, lift the hand up, follow it. Inhale, both hands come above. Exhale, left hand down, side bend over to the other side. Again, try to keep the weight even across the seat, even though it's not so deep a fold. And try and lift, get this feeling of lifting out of the pelvis so we don't squash the side that we're folding to too much. Of course, it's squashed a little bit, but we're not collapsed. Core's working. Once more each way. So lift the hand, follow it with the gaze, inhale to the center, pause, exhale to the other side. So we reset in the middle and then we fold to the other side. Maybe the body's ready for a little more depth. We can walk the hand away if it is. Don't worry if it isn't. Try not to compromise the seat. Fingertips float. Inhale, reset, and last side bend. Exhaling over to the other side. tendency can be here for this shoulder to come up and be a bit squashed. See if we can have that shoulder feeling settled and relaxed. And then again, last side, inhale back to the middle, palms down to the thighs. Roll the shoulders back. And we're going to take some little twists now. So we're really warming up the whole of the spine bit by bit. So fingertips are going to come here and we're just going to take a twist like this. Pretty 90s, a little bit Mr. Motivator. Not too much, just letting the back ease into it. Chin comes round last, so it feels like the movement starts at the base of the spine and finishes at the top of the neck, skull interface. Maybe as the body wakes up a little bit, we pick the speed up. It's quite gentle here. We're not straining too much, just coming to a comfortable range of motion and trusting that it's the gentle reps that will actually help open up the joints. So sort of 40 to 60 gentle reps like this will get us to our maximum available rotation without it being too hard on the body, you know? Okay, so a couple more of these. Probably feeling a little bit of warmth, maybe a little bit of tightness around the shoulders now. That's okay. Settle it down. Palms back to the thighs. And just tuck the chin and just check. You might be feeling a little bit dizzy, so just check you're okay there. Nice soothing breath in. Nice sigh out through the mouth. Ah. Excellent. So we're going to now just try to get into that lower back, and we'll just do seated cat-cow. Nice and simple. Just turning around so you can see what's going on here. And we're just going to inhale forwards. We're going to try and stick the bum out, lift the chest, but don't throw the head back. Keep the breath flowing nicely. And as we exhale, we roll. You see that we roll the pelvis under, tummy comes in, chin comes towards the chest. So it starts from the pelvis. Inhale, shoulders go back, stick the bum out, lift the chest. Exhale, roll the pelvis under, round the spine forwards. And keep going at your pace. You could go quite slow and explore it, feel into it. We might try a couple moving a bit faster, seeing how that feels. And now we'll add a circular element to this. So we're going to inhale and we're circling around. This could be quite small, this could be quite big. We might start small and get bigger. No wrong answers here. We're listening to the body. If we're finding any sore bits, taking it a little bit easy around any sore bits, easing off the pace and or the depth until we find comfort. So we're trying to find that lovely sweet spot of effort, but ease as well. Go the other way if you haven't already. Nice circles here. And then when you feel like you've sort of evened it out, find our seat again, and we're going to come down onto the back. So if clear your props out the way, if you've got any props there, we're going to come over onto the back. So for me, this is always a good opportunity for a little bit of core work. We might float the heels, the feet might be down, and we're just lowering down slowly. So we're working quite hard here. Slow, slow, slow. And eventually we're rolling the spine down. Try to roll the spine down one vertebra at a time. So settling here now, my favorite thing as soon as I get onto the back is draw the knees up, hands come around the front of the shins, and it's rolling across the back. Starting off quite small. And just like in our twists, try to feel like we start in the pelvis, start at the base of the spine, and we finish at the back of the head. So roll off the hip, over to the other hip, and the head and the rest of the back just follow along. The hip drives it. This is lovely massage across the whole back body. Now, if you're ready for it, if it feels comfy, you can take the knees a little bit wider, draw the toes back towards the knees, and we can have the hands inside the knees. And this just lets us get a bit of a bigger movement. But still this same thing. So we might come over onto the glutes a bit here, get a bit of glute work as well. Starting in the pelvis, finishing in the back of the head. Maybe the gaze is following along. Just be careful of your neck. If it doesn't feel comfy, keep the head movement small. Next time you come to the middle, let's let that go. And we're going to take what our teacher called dead bug asana, which is silly. But the hands and the feet are up in the air, nice and floppy, and we're just wiggling it out like a fly that's on its last legs. Just wiggling it out. Try different angles with the wrists. Just sort of finding any tension we can and maybe getting some of it out. It can be quite small movements. And maybe finding a little bit of length in the back of the legs here as well. Slow it down, slowing it down. And bring the hands back to the mat, gently lower the knees away. So even here you can get a little bit of core work, keeping the core completely stable, tapping the toes down, just gently. Inhale the knees back and up. So doing that really slowly and consciously, tapping the toes, bringing them up. Now if that's too much to do without the lower back really lifting up, we'll do one leg at a time. If it's a bit too easy, we'll extend the legs away a bit more. So the longer the legs are, the more difficult it is. And you see, it's about this stable core, not about how long your legs are. And there's no one to impress here, so it's only your own practice. Couple more like this. Maybe really slow it down. That's pretty difficult. Okay, bring the knees back in. Let's have a little relax there. Maybe there's a little wiggle. And we're going to stretch out the legs a little bit. Plant the left foot down and extend that right leg up. Let's see how it goes. So straight as we can without discomfort. Hands to the back of the thigh, or maybe we can take hold of the calf. Try to hold the knee because that can put a bit of work on the knee. So try and hold above or below the knee, just to be kind to that knee. And we always have the toes coming back. So this foot is doing something. It's not just flopping about. And that helps keep all of these tendons and ligaments around the knee engaged, helps keep the knee safe. On an inhale, it's like we want to kick the heel down. So if I let go, my leg would fly down to the floor and I would bruise my heel. So we're giving it a bit of welly here. Inhaling. As we exhale, soften, draw the leg towards us. And this is a really good strengthener and it will lead to more flexibility. So inhale, kick the leg away. Exhale, soft, draw it in, draw it in. Two more. Inhale. So you really got to hang on to that leg. Exhale, soft. Last one. Inhale. Hold. Hold, hold, hold. Active foot. Exhale, draw it in. And hold it in. Stretching that leg. Send the heel away to straighten the knee. Try not to force the knee. Send the heel away and the knee will follow. Gently release the leg. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Pick up the left foot. Draw it in. So this is our supine pigeon. Now, usually we take hold of the back of the leg. But I'm going to just bring the left shin parallel to the floor like this. And there's a bit more core work here. I think if you bring the arms either side of the body for stability, or maybe, either side, cactus arms. And we'll just extend the left heel down towards the ground. Inhale, draw it back in. Okay, it's more strengthening in the hips here. Exhaling away. And then the pelvis is moving a little bit, the sacrum is moving a little bit, but the back is pretty much staying planted on the floor. The movement's in the hip socket. Core is strongly drawing in. Couple more like this. And then we will take the stretch version. So reach, right hand comes in between the legs, left hand around the outside, and we either hold the back of the thigh, or if we can reach, we hold the front of the shin. Exhale, draw that leg in. Now don't forget to flex the toes back towards the knee for knee safety. Draw that knee in. Lovely little stretch there. And then let it go, let it go, let it go. Land that left heel, land the right heel. Windscreen wiper the knees. Rock the knees from left to right 2 or 3 times, and then we're coming to stretch the other side. Right foot down, left leg up and away. Little wiggle for the foot there. Finding our grip on the legs. Remember, don't hold the knee, hold above or below the knee. And then our isometric stretches. So inhale, kicking the leg away. Exhale, softening and drawing in. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale, kick. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Hold it a little bit longer this time. Really give it some welly. Exhale. Soften. Draw that leg in and let's hold it in. Again, extending the heel away to try to make the knee come a bit straighter. Nice stretch down the hamstring here. Really important when we're holding these kind of stretches. Try to keep the face soft, the breathing easy. Even one book says, just think about something nice. Think about something really yummy. And it just helps soften us off. That's great. Okay. We're gently going to release the leg, slowly release the leg, crossing the left ankle over that right thigh. Hands come out in our cactus arms like this, so we're bent at the elbows, backs of the hands on the mat. Pick up the right foot, draw it in, active feet. Exhale, right heel goes down towards the mat, core is strong. Inhale it in. It doesn't have to go all the way down to the mat. Just again, you don't want to feel like the lower back's getting overtaxed here. It should be coming from inside the belly for strength here. If it's coming too much into the lower back, you're going to strain your lower back. So just make the movement a bit smaller. I want to train the body to switch on the deep abdominal muscles in this movement. In one more away, right heel goes away, draw it in, and we'll take the stretch. So hands around the back of the thigh or the shin, and draw that knee in towards the body, feeling that stretch down the outside of the left thigh, back of the right leg. And again, a nice little sigh here. I think of some ice cream or some beautiful soft bed. Being really, really comfortable. And then letting that go. Slowly, slowly. Right sole of the foot comes back down. Left sole of the foot comes back down. And we're coming to our glute bridge. So you'll find this move in every physical discipline under the sun because it's just such a good one for building up the deep core that protects the back. So you can see my shins are basically upright. The sole of the foot is as much below knee as possible. Back is nice and long down the mat, backs of the hands down. Now what we're thinking about is the feet feel like they're going to slide forward, but they don't. Knees stay put, shoulders stay put, and the hips float up between knee and shoulder. So inhale, flatten lower back. Exhale, feel like you're sliding the feet away. Raise the body up between shoulder and knee. So you can hear the back of the neck is still long, the breath is still moving. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, roll it back down. Now I know you've got a yoga block there, so we're going to take our yoga block and we're going to put it between the thighs. So you might have it on the medium setting like that, or you might have it on the thinnest setting. Find what's comfortable for you. So for me, I think it's about halfway up the thighs and it's on the medium width. I'm going to squeeze that block. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift up, squeeze the block, squeeze the block, squeeze the block. Really squeeze the block and the glutes. So we're keeping all of this effort out of the low back, switching on those adductors, switching on those glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Keep hold of the block. Let the lower back lift off. Put the lumbar curve back in there, and then inhale, flatten lumbar curve. Exhale, lift. Lift, lift, lift. Lovely. Let's see if we could maybe bring the heels in a little bit, squeeze the block, and maybe you can come up onto the tiptoes. If the cramps carve up, just come back down. Lift the hips, lift the heels, lift the hips. And then we're going to roll down. If you're on the tiptoes, stay on the tiptoes, roll the spine back down, roll it all the way down, and the heels come down last. Take the block out. Give those knees a little rock from side to side. Really nice. So we're going to come over, we're going to carry on with this sort of glutes and adductors kind of vibe. And we're going to come for some 80s style aerobics. So I'm just trying to figure out how to do this without putting too much pressure on the wrist, because we don't want to hurt the wrist here, and it can be a little bit much on the wrist. So we're lying on the side. And yeah, I'm just going to put a cushion here so I don't have to put too much weight on the wrist. I've got a little bit of support there. Feet are together. Yeah. You don't want the bum to come back. We want to be nice and long and open here. Right fingertips down for balance. And we're just going to come into some of these. Raising that leg up. Trying to keep the body in a nice straight line. Two more. And then hover the foot and move the foot back away from us. And then some little circles. So the left leg is all in line with the left shoulder and hip. Right foot is just behind a little bit. And it's little circles. It's getting into the glute medius. Try turning the toes down towards the floor. Increase the intensity. Nice. Let that going. We're going to just draw the knee in. Stand the leg away. Lift it up. Draw the knee in. Stand the leg away. Lift it up. Nice. I'm going to slowly lower it down. Bend the knees, bring the feet together. Lift the right knee. I'm going for this clamshell. Left knee comes up, squeezes in towards the right knee. This is pretty tough. I can't go all the way up there. And it gets right into this adductor muscle. So it could be quite a small movement. Again, finding that sweet spot where we're doing something, but we're not doing too much. A couple more like this, the clamshell. Great. Okay, let that go. And we're going to come straight to the other side with those. Turning yourself around, making sure you're comfy and you're balanced. And we're going to come into those leg raises. So I think here you see, you could, if you turn the toes up, it'll open up more, but it's a different movement. So try to keep the toes as if they're both facing forwards, and it will probably be smaller. depending on how your hips are set up. A few more of these just to even it out. Building pelvic floor strength here, building core stability. And then lower that down. And we're taking the leg back. And it's those little circles. Again, pointing the toes somewhat down towards the floor. And the other way. And then we're bringing the knee in, extending, lifting, bringing the knee in, extending and lifting. Two more. In, extend, lift, lower, in, extend, lift, and lower. And then we'll do those clamshells again. So lifting up the left knee and then drawing the right knee in. Squeeze, squeezing it in. It's such a cheeky little muscle, that one. It's really hard to reach. And then let's let that go as well. And from here we'll do a little standing sequence. So let's make our way up to our feet. Now we've been down on the ground for ages. Just have a little shake out of the wrists, maybe a little bounce as you see fit. Just to shake off anything from being down on the ground for so long. And we're going to just practice our basic yoga sun salutation here. So straighten my mat out. Coming to the front of the mat. Check out what's going on with the feet. You want the feet, so the outside of the feet is pretty much in line with the outside of the hip. Maybe it's a little less wide than that. And the feet are turned in just a little bit, so that the second toe is pretty much facing forward, like you're on train tracks. So it's just a tiny bit. If you look at my feet, it's not like that. It's not pigeon feet. They're just pigeon feet, adjusting a little bit so the second toe faces forwards. And that gives us a really nice, stable base. So from there, okay, we're going to go through this whole proper standing procedure. So turn the palms to face forwards. Feel like you're drawing the heels together. And as you feel like you're drawing the heels together, the inner thighs feel like they're rolling forwards a little bit. And you should be able to feel the whole inner leg and the glutes switch on from that action. The glutes don't want to squeeze too much, just a little bit of engagement there. And hopefully you feel the lower abs start to switch on there. So that's our base. Palms are turned out, and that reason we do that is it helps us roll the shoulders back. So we roll the shoulders back, palms turn out, belly draws in. And now it's just the head. So the ideal situation is the back of the head is in line with the sacrum. And the head is just back a little bit and the chin is just down a little bit. So the back of the neck is long and the crown of the head is facing upwards. And this is our Tadasana. This is our mountain pose. And this is one of our yoga safe houses. We come back to when we're all feeling a bit messy, or a bit out of breath. We stand in our mountain pose. From here we come up. So we bend the knees gently and try to come forwards. As we bend the knees, bum goes back a little bit so the weight stays over the heels, spine stays upright. Gentle bend to the knees. As we inhale, straighten the legs, arms out to the side, lifting all the way out. So I'll come and face towards you so you can see this. I'm just going to practice coming up and down a little bit. So exhale, bend the knees, send the bum back. So all the time the weight feels like I'm not going to tip over forwards or back. The weight stays even over the feet. Bum goes back, bum goes back. Legs might straighten a little bit. Fingertips find the floor. And the knees are nice and soft. Keep bending those knees so that the body rests on the legs. When the body's resting on the legs, let the head go. Let the head go. We're always holding too much tension in the neck. Head super heavy. In fact, just bring the hands to the back of the head, interlink the fingers. Gently use the weight of shoulder and elbow to just help draw the neck long. Just gentle. So rather than thinking about trying to get the head to the shins, think about getting the ribs on the thighs. And softness, soft neck. Feel like the spine is just like liquid being poured out of the jug of the pelvis. Lovely. Release the hands at the back of the neck. Now the weight's probably forwards a little bit, so let's see if we can move the weight back over the feet, lift out of the tummy. Inhale, slowly restacking the vertebrae. Belly comes forward, stack, stacks. Hands cycle up above the head. Exhale, the hands come down through prayer and they go out to the side again, back to our Tadasana. So I'll show you that again from the side, just quickly. So inhale up, exhale down, inhale up. I want you to do it really slowly and really think about, am I leaning to the side? Am I tipping forwards or back? So just coming up and down a few times, nice and slowly. Go back, tummy comes in, weight still even, weight still even, weight still even. Inhaling up. So I don't mind so much what's going on with the arms. Think about what's happening in your feet. And by really concentrating on this, we can find our patterns. Like I will find there's a bit where I want to wiggle to the side, where there's a tension in the spine. A couple more of these. Training ourselves to think with our feet, measure our weight. And the next time you come down, fingertips find the ground, however much you need to bend the knees. And we're trying to straighten the back out. Knees might bend a lot to help us get a straight spine. Might even be like this. We're going to try to have a nice straight back. Yeah, bend those knees more. Bend the knees loads more. That's it. That's it. We really want to straighten the back out as much as we can. Now, inhale, and then on the exhale, right foot's going to go back. Fingers will slide along the floor to be outside the left foot. Knees going to go down. Coming back to our lunge. So the fingertips never leave the ground. Then we inhale up and we find our low lunge here. Very nice. Toes are tucked. Feel like we're kicking off those. Bring the pelvis forwards and try to drop the belly. So we don't want to go with the belly. We want the belly in, spine tall. Exhale the hands like this, fingertips together in front of the heart. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, back to center, fingertips down. Come back to child's pose. Untuck the toes. Head bowed. And then inhale forwards. So the full movement would be, we would inhale forwards and find a little baby cobra like this. Nice. Nice back bend there. Beautiful. And we're going to come back. So what we do is we feel like the elbows want to go backwards and the index finger wants to go forwards. Use that action, bend knees, tuck those toes under again. And that lets us extend away. So the hips go back and the hips draw the arms to straight. Toes are tucked. Lift up, downward dog. Couple of breaths in on downward dog. This is another one of our yoga homes, our yoga safe houses. So if the weight's too much in the wrist or the ankle, try adjusting the length of your dog. If you're finding his wrists are tired, somehow you need to get the weight back to your feet, and that's often bend the knees. Bend the knees a bit. Okay, we're looking for this nice natural curve in the spine more than we're looking for a long leg. We've got a long leg and a rounded, can you do a rounded back like that? Well, no, we want to bend the knees, lengthen the back. And we're going to come forward. So we're going to look between our thumbs. Exhale, step the right foot through, drop the left knee down. Low lunge to the other side. Right foot forwards, left toes tucked. Tall spine, long neck. Oh, my shoulders. Soft shoulders as much as we can. It's not that much for me today. And then exhale, fingertips down either side of that right foot, picking up left knee, stepping it through, back in our forward fold. Find that centered weight and inhale up, finding our Tadasana. Exhale, hands through the heart center, and palms face the front. Ready for the second side. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, upwards hands. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold, flat back, bent knees. Ready for the left foot. Exhale, left foot steps back. Fingers slide to frame the right foot. Knee drops. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands in front of the chest, fingertips together, like you're holding a ball of energy. Inhale, twist. Maybe you look over that right shoulder. Exhale, back to center, fingertips down, coming back to our child's pose. You might want to take the wide-kneed version of the child's pose. Be able to get a bit lower down with the wide knees. Then lift the gaze. We're coming through to our back bend. So we need to hop the knees back in. Inhale through. Cobra. If it's too much, we come down, take a smaller one. If the body's ready, finding a bit more depth. And then tucking the toes, bending the elbows. Hips go back, hips go back, hips go back. Lift it up and through, downward dog. This time in a downward dog, let's just lift one and the other, rocking the hips from side to side. And then we're going to look between the hands. Left foot steps forwards this time, right knee down. And left leg forwards. If the body's ready for it, you might shuffle this foot forwards a little bit, drop the hips, get a bigger stretch here. And again, don't compromise the spine to find the depth. Exhale, frame that front foot, pick up back knee, step it in, fold it down, inhale up to standing. Exhale, Tadasana. Right. So let's take a little squat now. We'll bring the toes to face outwards. And we're going to have the knees tracking over the toes. And we're going to find what we call a goddess squat. It doesn't have to be as deep as mine. Try to have the shins upright. And the thing to avoid here as well, you don't want to be like this. So it could be quite small, but quite upright. Yeah, lovely. That's it. Okay, it's one of those things. Hips can come with time, but we don't want to train ourselves to do that because eventually this goes down all the way into a splits. Have the upright spine. Our goddess. Inhale, straighten legs, arms above head. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. How many of these can we do? I could probably do a lot. Inhale. Exhale down. Let's hold it, arms out, turn the palms up. And we're just going to hold it here for a few seconds. Remember to keep drawing the pelvis under so we're not bowing out the lower back. Inhale back up to standing. Heel and toe the feet in a little bit closer. Toes are still pointing out. And we're going to squat it down, squat it down, squat it down. Heels can come up. We're going to try and squat all the way down to the ground. And then we're coming down onto the bum. So find our way down onto the mat. Right, what was I going to teach you here? Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of Baddha Konasana here, which is our bound angle pose. So I'm going to use a couple of cushions for this. You might want to sit on the block. I can't remember if we've done this before or not. This is a great one because we've done quite a lot of strengthening in the hips. So this is just to help us ease and open out the hips again. So you can sit on the floor or on the block as you feel you need to. And it's this diamond shape, so we're bringing the soles of the feet. Just flop out. So you could have the block stacked under the knees as well here. It might be better to sit on the floor and stack the knees, or you play with it. But what we don't want to feel like is we're doing any work. That's the key thing, is you want to start feeling like the legs are going to flop. And to help with that, fingers facing away from you, like little spiders, and put a bit of the weight into the fingers. So don't put the hands down because you'll tire the wrists out. Try to be on the fingertips, and that will help strengthen the wrists. Yeah, so just grow a bit taller with the help of the hands. And feel like the legs are flopping. Yeah, so there's that's about right for me today, where they're just, I don't feel like they're doing any work. I'm taking the work out of the back with the fingers on the floor. What I can feel, because a lot of this it's about self-exploration. It's why it's quite good to film yourself, because you can sort of see, oh, that's where I'm going. So I've got this pelvic rounding off coming on here. So I'm going to try to lift the flesh from the buttocks and just see if I can grow a bit more upright there. That's it. So I'm just putting that lumbar curve back in. And that feels much more comfortable. Actually, I feel much more tall. And I would definitely sag without the hands. So we keep those fingers there. And see if we can drop the legs a little bit more. We feel like they're just flopping. And of course, we can do this on the back as well. Just a little bit to the sitting up version. But as we get a bit stronger and a bit more mobile in the pelvis, the hands can come away, and maybe they can come to the hands there, and to the ankles. And so we're still not doing this, we're drawing up the spine. Okay, I don't want you to come any further forwards than where you can keep the spine. So I think as soon as the spine goes like that, I kind of lost it. So just finding another sort of 30 seconds or so, playing with this, seeing where the depth is, seeing how heavy we can make the legs. And then let's draw ourselves back up to upright as much as possible. We'll take away those props. And we're going to come down, just like we did before. We're going to just do a little bit of core and bring ourselves down to the mat slowly as we can. That's it. Slowly, slowly. Maybe there's a little cheeky balance there. And eventually we're rolling down onto the back. It's nice and long. And we're extending the feet away, legs long. Now, if the lower back doesn't like that, feet can be up here, or what's really nice as well is just a pillow or something under the back of the thighs, or a couple of pillows. And that just helps to put the spine in a nice tilt. It doesn't like going down flat on the floor, but then you don't have to do so much work to hold it up. So let the feet turn out to the side. Yeah, lovely. That's it. And then that helps the legs get nice and heavy and soft. And Shavasana, finding stillness, is sometimes one of the hardest things, especially if we know we've got to go and do other things. Can we get on with this resting bit? No. But I have got my eye on the time. So you don't need to worry about the time. I'm just going to see if we can work over the main joints of the body and just let them go. Check the back of the neck is long, so I like to bring the fingertips to the back of the skull and just gently, with love, with reverence, pick up the head. Just a centimetre, lengthen the back of the neck, gently place the head back down. Let the backs of the hands fall back to the mat. And let the shoulders melt into the mat. And soften. Let the backs of the arms and the elbows, the forearms and the backs of the hands, let them all be heavy. Let the whole arm be heavy. Let the earth do the work. Let the ground do the work. Let the pelvis sink into the supports of the mat. Let the legs fall out of the hips. The hips do not need to stabilize the legs now. The legs are lying on the floor. Let the legs be heavy. Let the feet and the ankles be heavy. The whole body resting down on the mat just for this last minute. Relaxed and warm, charged up. Take a big breath in through your nose, as big as you can. Fill the body with air. Hold it in for just a moment. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Let that fall out of the body, and maybe you get just 2% heavier. One more. Nice sigh. Now we'll bring the body back up. So fingertips and toes start to wiggle. Wrists start to turn, and maybe ankles flop in and out. And we're going to roll onto one side, maybe onto your right side. Rolling onto the side. Let the head rest on the arm for a moment. And then we're coming to sit up. Maybe we're sitting on a cushion or a block. However's comfy right now. Right. It's nice to finish the practice of yoga with the practice of gratitude. And the most important thing is to be grateful to yourself for being here, for looking after yourself. And grateful for the practice, the culture of yoga that gives us this space to nurture ourselves in. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. Namaste.